Bechoros Daf Nun Tes. We're going to learn today 4 halachas that Rava said. We're going to go into them in great detail. We'll just mention them real quickly now. First halacha is that when you do Meiser Behema, the 10th one remaining in the pen becomes Kaddish by itself. It doesn't have to go out of the entrance of the pen like the other 9 animals. The second halacha is Minyan Haroi Poiter. That is, that as long as you start off with 10 animals, even if one of them dies while you're counting the rest, anything that you counted before that point is pater for meiser because it started properly, it was started roi, and that is enough to give it a ptur. The third halacha is that even suffik minyan haroi is pater, and the fourth halacha is don't pick and choose when it comes to meiser behema. Don't try to get rid of your weakest animals. Let the job do itself, and let's jump into it. Rabbi's first halacha is that if you have 10 animals in a pen and 9 went out, the 10th one becomes Kaddish automatically. You don't have to let it out of the pen, and you don't have to call it Kaddish, Asiri, etc. The Gemara brings 3 brises. Perhaps it's a raya to Rav. The Gemara says no. Only from the 4th one is a raya. The first brisa says that if 9 animals went out of the pen and the 10th one died, all 9 animals are pater from meiser. The Gemara understood this as a raya to Rava, because the 10th one that remained in the pen became meiser automatically, and only afterwards it died, and that's why all 9 animals are pater. Says the Gemara, no. Over here we can invoke the second halacha that Rava says of minyan haroi poiter. That is, since the 9 animals started out with a 10th one, and it was roi to do meiser, so even though the 10th one died, the 9 are pater because minyan haroi poiter. Says the Gemara, let's bring another brisa. It says in the second brisa that if somebody messed up and called the 9th animal, he counted the 9th animal and said it's 10. The halacha is that the 9th one has to be eaten with a mum. You have to wait until it gets a mum, and the 10th one is meiser. Even though it seems like he didn't speak, he didn't say anything. So mashma, it just becomes meiser automatically. Says the Gemara, no, maybe it became meiser because it went out of the pen, and that created a meiser. Perhaps he pointed at it, and that's why it became meiser. Not a raya to Rava. But there is a brisa that says mefurish that if somebody called the 10th animal, the 9th animal, he called him 10th, and he stayed in the pen, the 10th one is still meiser, and that would be a raya to Rava that even though it didn't go out, it became meiser on its own automatically. According to Reb Shimon, the 9th animal that was called 10th does not become Kaddish at all. It doesn't have to be eaten with a mum unless he messed up on the 10th animal and he called the 10th animal 11. Why is that? Because Reb Shimon says a kavachomer. Number 11 becomes a shlamim if he calls number 11 10, and only if he messed up on number 10 and he called number 10 9. But if he didn't mess up on number 10, he called number 10 10, then number 11 is not a mess up. It starts all over again. So he says, Kavachomer, if number 11 becomes a shlamim, which is very chomer, you need that number 10 should be messed up. So certainly that number 9 should be a mess up, only if number 10 is a mess up. Says the Gemara, no, the opposite. Number 11 needs that number 10 shouldn't be good, because number 11 is a very strong thing, and it's shlamim. In order for something to be created with the kedusha of shlamim, you need 2 mess ups, 10 and 11. Masha'enke number 9 is a very weak kedusha. You only have to wait until it befalls a mum, then you can eat it. Perhaps over there you don't need number 10 to be messed up. Another pshat the Gemara says is, well, 9 always comes before 10, and 11 comes after 10. So for 11 to be no good, you have to make sure that 10 is no good. But 9 is messed up even before you got started. You don't have to come on to number 10. Says Rava, is second halacha. Minyan haroi poiter. As we explained before, as long as you start out with 10 and you start counting the animals, anything you count is pater forever. Even though eventually something goes wrong and one of the animals dies, that's okay, because Rava brings a pasuk that says Ya'avar tachsa shevet, an animal that went through, and not sha'avar that, an animal should go through, not an animal that went through already, avar already. If it already went through, that's it, it's pater. And we have a brisa like Rava, because it says in the brisa that if there was 10 animals in a pen, 5 went out, he counted 5, and then 1 died. So it depends where that 1 died. If the 1 died from the ones that went out, everything is good because they already counted, there's nothing you can do. They already had a ptur. But if 1 died from inside the pen, The 5 that went out are patur because of minyan aroi, because when they went out, they were patur. So you see the concept of minyan aroi. Third halacha, Rava says, is safek minyan aroi. What's the case? You have 14 sheep and 2 doors in the pen. 4 went out to the right, 4 went out to the left, and now you're left with 6 animals. These 6 animals could choose to go out from the right, and they could choose to go out from the left. So we don't know where the tziruf is going to happen, where you're going to have 10, to the right or to the left. That's a suffix, because when the 4 went out to the right, we weren't sure that they're going to have a tziruf. Maybe they go out to the left. Afal pikein, we say that that's considered a patur, and that you don't have to give ma'aser. Another interesting case is if 6 went out to the right, 4 went out to the left, and there's 4 left. If the 4 left went out to the right, so now you have 10 that went out to the right, so now you take ma'aser. The other 4, they don't have a patur of minyan aroi, because when they went out, they didn't have 10 tziruf, they only had 4 maximum. They could have added up to 8. So those 4 have to go to another goyren, and we have to redo the ma'aser. If 4 went out first, so now they do have a tziruf, because you could have 6 to be inside of them. But 4 went out to the left, and then only afterwards 6 went out to the right. If the 4 went out to the right to the 6, so now you have 10 on the right, you take 1 ma'aser. But if the 4 went out to the left, the original 4 are patur because they had minyan aroi. Because when they went out, there was more than 6 left in the pen that could have been starved to them. But the last 4 that are in the middle have to go to another goyren. And finally, Rav's last halacha is if you have 15 sheep in a pen, you shouldn't choose 10 weakest ones. Just let all the 15 remain and let the job do itself. Let the goyrel happen. And with that, have a beautiful Shabbos, and I'll see you Be'ez Hashem on Motzei Shabbos.